Bam.
Anime fans, One Piece fans, what's good? That's that question, of course, is One Piece. One Piece is what's good. Today we have another live stream with our friend Vulture Valley.
Yo.
Be sure to subscribe to his channel. Link will be in the description. So, today's topic is on my man Usopp. How strong is Usopp? I think Usopp is stronger than most people think. I think if someone like even Charlotte Oven pulled up on Usopp and tried to blitz him or something like that, I think Usopp could actually would actually fare pretty well against someone like Oven or someone like Daisuke and be able to escape. And if he plays his cards right, even possibly win, since Usopp is so smart. But since Vulture is the guest, we will let him go first.
Okay, I guess I'm arguing the opposite
Yeah,
because
because
I really don't believe that Usopp has the defensive capabilities to like physically. I haven't seen. We've seen that he's gotten stronger per se, like being able to use bigger attacks and offensive capabilities, and he's more of a toolbox utility type of guy. He can fix problems that aren't necessarily combat related, like fixing the Sunny in case Frankie's gone, or building some kind of random machine that they need, whatever at the time. Like Nami's climb attack, that's not like low level stuff. That's actually pretty impressive. And he integrated with the dials. That's more his speed. But if someone like Sanji knew he had to kind of move as fast as he did when he went against Oven, when Sanji was on whole cake and he had to speed blitz Oven, that's what I see coming from the top three people. If there was a long drawn out fight and Oven actually saw Sanji, I think it would be like a mid diff for Sanji. And anything that's mid diff for Sanji is extreme diff for Usopp. That's just how I see it, and it goes case by case, of course, because One Piece is about matchups. But generally, anyone with hockey, it's if they have one of the hockeys, he's gonna have a hard time. If they have both, it's going to be high diff. And if they have a devil fruit on top of that, like Sabo, I don't see him coming out of that at all. you know, without his thick plot armor, because because he is a straw hat.
well, if you just first of all, this was going to bring up. I think this might seem a little bit lame, but first of all, if you just look at the Usopp post time skip, the man is ripped. Just
He
being honest,
is.
he's ripped because he was on the island with all those savage plants. So he hasn't really had to use them, but his physical capabilities are actually pretty large compared to what he was pre-time skip, as he has been running around the Boyne archipelago like he's Robin Hood.
Yeah, but at
And
the same time, you got to think about muscle mass in One Piece. Luffy was pushing buildings apart, and he had the most stick figure arms of anyone in the series. Him and
yeah,
Usopp had the same exact build, but Luffy was doing all that crazy stuff. He probably even not. I wouldn't say even before Devil Fruit, but we know that Luffy holds stuff back until like a big challenge comes. So he was as strong as he was pretty much throughout post time skip from the beginning. He grew after Rob Lucci and all those fights, but the base strength, it was crazy. So muscle mass doesn't have that much to do with it when it comes to
yeah.
One Piece. It's
Well,
just that he looks cooler now and he's more confident. And of course he got better, but when you start from zero and you go up to 50, that's impressive. But if everyone else is on 500, that's not. It doesn't matter,
yeah. But
in the grand
say
scheme of things.
also now that Usopp's got
Damn it, I'm mad as hell.
Usopp's observation hockey seems to be more. It seems to not be. It doesn't seem to be as much of dodging and more of sensing. But
Yeah,
even so, the reason I brought up his muscle mass was I feel like that was Oda's way of like physically showing in the drawing that Usopp is just faster and stronger now physically. And along with observation hockey, I feel like even if it's not trained, he's since he awakened it like Kobe, it's going to be really strong, and he's going to be like I don't think he realized this yet, but I think he's able. Of course, this is a bit of speculation and headcanon on my part, but I think Usopp's going to be able to dodge a lot of more things than he or we realize. And so, and
So do
then
you
if
think
he
he? So do you think Usopp has Soru right now? Like, can he
has
basically flash step like higher tier characters? Do you think
uh,
that's in his repertoire? Because if not, then we have to seriously kind of like nerf him or curve our expectations. Because if he doesn't have Soru, and we really haven't seen anything about that, we've more seen him do that thing Rayleigh did when he swam all the way to Amazon Lily, and he sensed every creature on the island their power level. I see Usopp being more in that vein than having
yeah,
the observation to or the observation and the means to dodge high level, high speed attacks. I just don't see him. I don't think that's his thing. I think him and what's that? Von Auger on the Blackbeard Pirates. I
yeah,
think, I think they're gonna be doing that whole sniping from islands thing. That's gonna be his fight, not close range.
yeah,
And that's a skill, and that's highly valued. But when you rank people for how strong they are, you have to include close quarters combat and how long they be able to last. And if we just look at that, we could put him high for his sniper skills because he's probably one of the best snipers in the verse. But that's only going to get you so far.
right. But I think Usopp's gonna end up having both types because if you just look at Usopp just being blunt, his specialty has always been running away when he's in danger and even dodging when he's in a bad situation. He's able to evade. He's always been able to evade.
Not always,
Um,
because if you
not
remember
always.
Alabasta, he got messed up. He was in a body cast for a minute. I think his
Oh
thing is
yeah,
getting beat up a lot. Because he had his nose broke, that the whole body cast. Well, he got hit with like 1,000-pound hammer or something crazy like that, or a bat.
yeah. But what you're saying is a fair point. I don't think he's that unable to dodge, but I still think he's because for some people like Sanji, most people aren't as fast as Sanji, right? He's
Yeah,
not going to be able to evade someone like Sanji for a long time. But even just the more slower top tiers, like, and then even just looking at his offensive ability, what I also really wanted to talk about was his offensive ability.
oh
Usopp,
yeah,
even though he's long range, like when he's in short range, it's not like he's going to be able to duke it out with someone like Oven. But
definitely.
he is able to he's able to snap off shots really quickly because of course the closer they are to you, the easier they are to hit.
Yeah,
So part of Usopp's fight is his tactics. When he's at a disadvantage, he uses tactics. I think you mentioned that before. So if he's getting blitzed by someone like Oven, and I do believe even if his dodge skills aren't as impressive as I would have thought, I still think he'd be able to dodge Oven for at least a little while. Agreed.
yeah. I don't think. Hmm.
So
It,
say
it just depends, man. Well, Oven I think is slower. I don't think his thing is speed, so maybe Oven and like
so
non-speed based characters. Yeah.
so even if so just say for sake of discussion,
Hmm.
he can dodge Oven for maybe 30 seconds or not even 30, just say 10 seconds,
Yeah.
5 seconds before Oven catches him. Oven
Okay.
is that close, and is Usopp is able to to load up ammo and snap off a shot. And if he uses Impact Wolf, remember that giant wolfy shot
Yeah, I remember
that did that whole
the
shockwave.
shockwave. Yeah.
Even the reason it took him so long to do that was one for the height, kind of, and two
Yeah.
because he was aiming. If Oven's right there and he just snaps that off, that's gonna send Oven flying the other direction. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I think
And
he
then
could.
once
I think
Oven
he'll
is
be able to snap it off. But does the actual wolf shoot that fast? Is what we got to look at.
well,
Because
the
remember, it has to unfurl and that whole thing has to come out. It didn't just instantly hit and then became a thing.
true, of course, he has some ammo, but say it wasn't even Impact Wolf because I feel like he's got to have some more instant hitting stalling ammo. You know what I mean? Like
I just
even
think his regular like little pellets. If he was to able to somehow like not put hockey on himself. Like maybe he has the smallest amount of armament hockey that he can control, but he knows how to do it like the Kuja do, and like infuse his little pachinkos with it. I think
Yeah,
they'll be able to, be a good offensive weapon, as
that
long
would.
as the only thing that I would say is holding him back from being like top tier and being able to even do that in the first place is his physical ability. Like like we discussed before, like can he use Soru? Can he do gear 2 level speed? Because most people that we consider strong have that. I can do a little flash real quick and be
Right, right.
fast as Luffy at gear 2.
True, true. But say, uh, I can't. We can't really make judgments on his physical abilities since we haven't seen them. So for now, I'm gonna say just say his physical abilities are not up to par.
All right.
If he's still fit enough, so he's able to. So say it's Oven or Daifuku's genie or something like that. If he's gonna dodge it, and if he's able to snap off a quick ammo that repels them for even like a little bit, or if
Uh
he's
huh.
able to knock them back like 10 feet, then he's instantly at the advantage because they're farther, so he can use bigger and badder ammo. And even if he can't, he as they're as they're occupied for even just 1 second or 0.5 seconds. Since Usopp has been trained his sniper abilities, he's gonna be able to snap off more ammo, and the more and once he I feel like once he gets them at that range, he's gonna be able to bombard them until they're far enough away, or even maybe he only needs 10 feet to use something like Impact Wolf. And when he uses Impact Wolf, he might even be able to use something bigger than Impact Wolf, even though Impact Wolf is the biggest thing we've seen of him using.
Right.
But I feel like he's gonna be able to hold people off and even be able to bombard them and destroy them with this bombardment. I'm not saying he could beat Oven or Daifuku necessarily, but I'm saying he's gonna be able to defeat opponents who are. I'm saying he's stronger than we think, and he's able to take on stronger opponents than we think he can take on. Most people seem to think the most people seem to think he's can't even take on someone like Gladius, or maybe not Gladius, but they don't even think he can take on someone like, say, they don't even think he can take on someone like Bartolomeo because,
That won't be hard for anybody. But if we was to look at it like, say, um, do we have to look at the ranking system for the most like recent Yonko we've taken on? So we have Dafuku, Oven, Katakuri, Cracker, and Smoothie, and then we got Jack and them boys over in Kaido's crew. So who's like what level is Oven and Dafuku on? Well, we know they're weaker than third commanders. They was like right under third commanders, like the executives or the veterans, I think they were called in the show.
uh-huh.
So, um, I don't know if what's his name? I don't know if Usopp is necessarily that level because I think if he can tangle with them, that's cool. He can probably get some hits in on. The only thing that's lacking is his defense. If Oven were to get a clean fire hit off on Usopp, I don't think he's dying, but he doesn't know the Tenkai, like the Iron Body thing, of off of one of those six powers that the CP0 people use. He doesn't have that. He doesn't have actual body armament hockey, and we definitely can't even say he if he can't go full body, if he can't even put up like his forearms with it, then there's a lot of things that could possibly mortally wound Usopp. And no matter how you look at how strong he's gotten, we can't say that he can tank these high level of like attacks because Sanji didn't even want to fight, Oven. Like if Sanji was strong enough, I'm sure he would have tried to take out Oven, at that point. But Sanji didn't even feel confident that he can take out Oven in a timely manner, and he knew if Oven hit him, it was going to be a problem. So he had to speed blitz him. Usopp isn't speed blitzing him, and if Sanji can't overpower him, Usopp can't overpower him. So I think he's like below whatever whoever's below Oven and Daifuku. That's more Usopp's range, and that's not necessarily weak because in Yonko's crew, even though veterans like right under the commanders, they're pretty strong. Like I think we all can agree with that. So I would put him like So Oven and Ifuku would have to been like his big mom, then the three. So they would be like what fifth and sixth in the crew, and that's kind of where Usopp is. Like I don't see Nami, Robin, or Chopper being really stronger and more useful than Usopp. So he's basically behind Brook to me. Frankie is up there too. Like he's pretty much fighting Frankie for like best person, like fifth or sixth best person, and then
Mm.
Brooks in front of them.
I think Frankie is stronger than Brooke, but that's a different discussion for a different day.
What he doesn't even have a fruit,
Yeah, but
and what's his name is way older. Like Brooke is way older and has more experience. I haven't
Frankie
seen
doesn't need a fruit though.
Frankie didn't speed blitz anybody, and you got to realize that what's his
Frankie's
name?
got Frankie's got strong armor and he's got Vegapunk lasers.
He has Vegapunk, but that's offensive. Like we gotta remember the defense. The defense is what
His defense is
it's
pretty strong though. His defense he's
no,
got
it's not. It's metal. Like it's like technology
but
in One
his
Piece world isn't
Vegapunk
that
metal.
strong. I don't
But
think
his
it's
Vegapunk
Vegapunk metal. It's not. He doesn't have special metal from
not
Vegapunk.
special metal. But you know like
Like
I
he
feel
got
like
the technology for his offense from Vegapunk, but he didn't get any new
but
upgrades to his
General
body.
Frankie. People laugh at General Frankie, but it's
Oh
pretty
wait, no, I
strong.
forgot about that. Now hold on. Yeah, I forgot about General Frankie, but that's basically pacifista level. Like it's just the strides pacifista, and look how strong they were post time skip.
Mm.
If you think about it, like is General Frankie like? Well, I think he can beat a pacifista because Zoro and Sanji did it earlier, but I think they got to upgrade. But it wouldn't be a low diff for Frankie. Like I think he would generally have a hard time with a pacifista.
I don't really think so though. But
You think he
back
can beat? Okay, all right, Kuma. Do you think he can like Kuma himself?
Kuma himself is stronger than Doflamingo.
That
No,
is a lie.
it is not a lie.
What do you mean?
We're digressing so far from Usopp, but I think we kind of
No, we
already.
have to like get the world in a scope of power first. So we got to
Yeah.
iron out what we think is strong. Like
Okay.
you're
So
obviously confused because Kuma's
no,
nowhere near as strong as
no,
Doflamingo,
no,
especially without hockey, because he doesn't have
Kuma.
his mind anymore.
Oh,
He doesn't have his
I don't
mind.
mean current Kuma. I mean like the Kuma that was at. I mean the Kuma that was at Sabaudi. The Kuma that was at Thriller Bark. That Kuma was. That Kuma. I'm not even gonna argue with you about this if you don't believe this, but Kuma's paw pads are at least as strong as Gear 4 punches. Like, I don't even think that can be disputed.
I don't know. I'm not saying he's weak. It's just you're when you bring up Kuma, most people kind of do off now because
Yeah.
he had his mind replaced. So I'm going off the Kuma that exists right now, and the
Well,
Kuma that exists right now, the
the
mindless
mindless
Kuma is like
is
it's
not
like
strong as Filthy, but
okay,
the
but the one
like,
with the mind maybe because we don't know how many hockeys he's had. We can say that he had armament and observation, but can we say he's mastered them? And
no.
how fast is he? He can teleport instantaneously, but when you have someone that has we've seen people be able to keep up with light speed, so it's almost the same thing, teleporting and light speed. So observation is not going to be a problem. We've seen how tough Dofi can be. So if Zoro is tanking all the pain that Luffy took over all that time, and we know Luffy's a tank, so if Zoro can take that pain, Doflamingo can take that pain because he took organ damage. So it's like I don't really see Kuma overpowering Doflamingo or outlasting him. Even though he does have a metal body, Zoro cut through your body. I don't think Zoro's cutting through Doflamingo like that. So it's like we've seen the cap of their powers before.
Mm, I, oh, with the pain, Kuma injected Luffy's pain into Zoro. That was
Right?
not the pain. That was not the pain of his. Like, of course, all Luffy's pain over a lot of time.
It
Uh,
was all the pain Luffy had through all out Thriller Barks, and that's a lot. He fought Oars. He had hundreds of different souls put inside him, and Zoro had pain already. So you're taking your pain and his pain. So that's you.
but
Zoro's a beast, and if Zoro's a beast, Dofi's a beast.
Kuma's able. Well, Kuma was basically able to one shot the entirety of Thriller Bark
And okay,
if he wanted to.
Moria's
Not
weak.
one shot.
There was pre-time skip Luffy and Zoro, so it was like he beat a whole bunch of pre-time skip. Doflamingo
Yeah.
almost low diffed Luffy if it wasn't for Law and his gamma knife
Well,
and radio knife.
I mean his power bomb. That power bomb that can just
Ursa
obliterate.
shock takes too long. That took 10 minutes. You think Doflamingo will sit there and look at you while you do that?
Well,
Dofi's an
no,
asshole, but
no.
he's not
Remember
stupid.
Marineford? That Ursa's claw at Marineford took like
But
10 seconds.
it wasn't as strong. And then the one he did at Thriller Bark wasn't even like as strong as things we've seen before. Like it was a big bomb, but like I'm pretty sure Doflamingo with his awaken can do almost as much damage as that Ursa shot.
In fact, actually, let me digress from Kumo for a little moment, just so I can say this. And when I say this, you're gonna groan, but
Okay.
I know lots of people are gonna think I'm wild. But
Hey man, I
Primoria,
understand it.
Primoria was definitely stronger than Doflamingo. He was at least first mate Yonko level, first Yonko mate level, in my opinion.
That is the
Maybe
wildest statement I've
no,
ever heard.
no. So listen here. So first
I'm
of all,
trying.
Moria got bodied by Kaido in the New World.
Yeah.
Uh, so of course, people ignore this, but all throughout Thriller Bark, it was obvious that it gotten depressed to giving up. It stopped training for the last 20 years, or not 20
Yeah.
years, sorry, but for the last like many years. He lost all his touch. And here's the thing: sometimes One Piece does this. It gives these statements, and then it's hard to wrap your head around these statements. So people ignore these statements. But this is a fact. Like this, of course, this
Can
could
I
have
say
been,
something real quick? Just real
yeah,
quick. So you're telling me that Doflamingo is stronger than the first mate of a crew because
no,
Dofi low diffed Moria at Marineford.
no. I said Prime Warrior.
Oh,
I said
okay.
Prime, not
And
well,
so
the
Prime Dofi is lower than Prime Moria.
yes. The reason I say
All
this is
right.
because I know this is hard to say, but Moria was, because remember, Moria is 50. I guess Kaido is around 55, 60. Like, this is a fact, because of course Kaido was around, and we saw Moria was at Roger's execution and he was grinning. So we know that was about when Moria set off. Moria was tanking with Kaido, and that it was indicated more than once. The manga said he fought Kaido equally, which could have been a typo, but
I
basically what
think
I'm
it was
saying
a
is,
typo.
but basically what I'm saying is, because I know people are like, it was young Kaido. Like, I think Moria was always kind of on the losing side. But do you remember Shadow's Asgard?
Shadow's Asgard was impressive, but
No.
if a
Well,
freaking what you call it Luffy, if Nightmare pre-time skip Luffy can beat him, then there's absolutely no way he's on first commander level because any first
no,
commander is beating Nightmare Luffy.
no. Hold on.
Okay.
Remember, so we saw that a Thousand Shadows, one punch was destroying the ground. But
Yeah,
people forget Thriller Bark. Thriller Bark was one of my favorite arcs. Moria is in my top 10 favorite characters, but I'm not biased.
I feel it.
Uh, uh, but the Shadows Asgard, he was trying not to barf these shadows the whole time. He couldn't even control it. Like when he did it, you could see he was kind of like he was kind of YOLO'd. It was like obvious he was just trying to buy time for Luffy to get burned up by the sun, right? He couldn't control it. Like he only threw like two punches, which just
He should be
decimated the
able,
ground and put
but
many craters.
we've seen first commanders have excellent near perfect control. We've seen people
Yeah,
under
but
first
that's where I'm
commanders.
going. That's
No,
where
hold
I'm
on.
going.
Crocodile had more control, and he. Oh, you said that's where you're going. All right, well, I'll
Yeah,
let you finish. I gotta see
that's
this.
that's where I'm going.
All
I think
right.
remember, say you got Shadows Asgard, right?
Uh-huh.
And Shadows, and I got a couple, but I'll let you talk after this. You got Shadows Asgard, right? Moria's been out of touch. He's obviously just been sitting on his butt doing nothing and crying and probably getting drunk over his lost crewmates.
Maybe.
And you need practice to do, and you need to stay in touch. He could not control Shadow's Asgard, but if you got this Moria, who was supposed to have been tussling with Kaido, this Prime Moria, who wanted to be the Pirate King, that was his dream, I'm pretty sure Shadows Asgard would not be in his arsenal if he was not able to control it at some point in time. If Mori was able to control Shadows Asgard, I have to say that explains a lot.
No, I would have. That's where we kind of branch off because Shadows of Asgard is impressive, but we've seen before like Ors, like in not Ors, yeah, Ors Junior and Ors. When you're big in One Piece, yeah, it's impressive, but only up to a certain level.
Yeah,
And
but
I would say Little Ors Junior. It was a very prominent figure in the Whitebeard crew, and Doflamingo took him out almost instantly. And it's like being you can't be too big in One Piece. That has been proven unless you can become like a full armament hockey freaking giant. Like
well, it's
you would have to have next level armament hockey because you're too big. You're not fast enough. Speed kills. That's why Kizaru is one of the top people. That's why you got to know airwalk sometimes. And Soru definitely. Like you can't not be fast and be too big.
yeah.
And I
I
think
was gonna
Moria was too
mention that.
big. Like even if he did lose his shadows, I don't think he'll be able to do enough damage to lower tier people. Like
I got
think about Dofi going up against Shadows Asgard. He would just
I
cut one of his legs off.
no, I actually got an answer for that. So first of all, Moria, um, Shadow. Sorry, I lost my train of thought. But Shadows Asgard, I said he would be able to control it. Well, if you just look at Shadows Asgard, I'm pretty sure he would be able to clap Order
Yeah,
Little Lord
fuck
Junior.
it.
Like just one punch that wasn't even didn't seem to be a punch he put much effort into, made a crater on the ground. And so
Okay.
I feel Kaido's Asgard, like remember Kaido's dragon form. Kaido's dragon form was slow and lumbering as they come. I feel like Shadow's Asgard would be more to deal with that. Like if Kaido comes at him in full on dragon form, Shadow's Asgard would be the best way to deal with that. But
I feel like it's
primary, like
only the same. I feel like Kaido's form is only good because he has that invincibility factor. No one could cut his legs off or take advantage of his size because he's way too big. I mean, way too invincible. If he was big and non-invincible, he would be tough, but he wouldn't be like impossible to kill like he is now.
that's why Moria is Kaido's rival. What I'm saying is, Prime Moria. If you saw Moria, I don't know if you saw One Piece episode zero. Moria
No,
was muscular and lean. He was not fat. He seemed to be strong. And remember Doppelman? If he has um complete control of Doppelman, if he says Doppelman, and remember he has his scissor swords, indicating he used to be a swordsman. If he sends Doppelman at you, or he sends himself at you, and he just switches them in an instant without a flaw, and just slashes off your shadow, and is able to do things like that, that would be Kaido's bane because the thing with Moria is he does not have to touch Kaido to kill him. All he needs to do is slash Kaido's shadow. He slashes Kaido's shadow. Kaido is dead no matter how invincible he is.
yeah, but that would never happen because Gear Fourth Luffy is definitely faster than Moria, even Prime Moria. I would say I really don't see Moria being a speeder,
No,
and there's no way that if Luffy gets speed blitzed by Kaido, then Moria is going to speed blitzed by Kaido. I agree if his ability got off, but you would need a lot of help and preparation, and you would need a way to slow Kaido down in order
no,
to make that a reality. And
that's
I
what
don't
I'm
think
saying.
anyone on Moria's crew or Moria could ever get to that point. So it's like
But
his ability
Doppelman is
can,
Doppelman is instantaneous teleportation. That's my point. If Kaido blitzes
but
at
that's what a
Moria,
speed blitz is. Even if he switches it, Moria isn't fast enough.
but
Period
that
to beat him.
we only saw a 50-year-old depressed on his butt, never trained in a blue moon Moria. I'm saying
I
Prime
believe
Moria
that
is
was. I believe he was always lazy. I think that's the motif of his character. Like he would have been better in the new world. Like he probably wouldn't even got beat in the new world if he was more motivated to go and do stuff. Like from the
no,
beginning, I don't think he was ever a motivated guy.
no. He was definitely. If you saw him at, did you watch episode zero?
I watched episode zero, and yeah, he looked better, and I really believe that he was stronger back then. But everyone has a cap, and I think Moria had a cap. Like he definitely was all right. If we were to put him on a commander level, I wouldn't give him first. I'm sorry, I would give him second at most, third, not even third after we see him when he gets depressed, because his abilities are good. But I'm telling you, if Luffy could find a way around it, post depression Moria is is weaker than pre-time skip Luffy. He um uh he was awake after Luffy punched him. Like Luffy did the nightmare Luffy and then he punched him, but Moria was still awake after that. So he's not a scrub. He won't get taken out, but he's not like as strong as you're putting him. I would
But
definitely
you
say people underestimate him, but I think you're giving him a little bit too much right now.
but you can't blame Moria for getting defeated in the New World. Like if you cross Kaido, like even if he's first mate level or whatever, of
But
course
Luffy didn't run away. Like Luffy
well,
got beat,
well
he got put in jail, and he said, "I'm gonna try again." But Moria ran
hold on,
away.
hold on. But no, this is different because Moria got beaten, right? But imagine if Luffy didn't get beaten. Imagine if every single Straw Hat, Nami, Zoro, Brook, Chopper, Usopp, Robin, all of them all get slaughtered right in front of Luffy. I'm not even sure even he would be motivated to just, oh, I'm just going to get new Nakama and start all over again.
I mean, that kind of happened to him because remember he didn't know what
Wait,
happened to them. He just saw them disappear. So you could say Luffy thought all the Straw Hats were dead, and he trained, and then someone told him they were better afterwards. But there was a period where Luffy was depressed and he was sad and he thought they were gone, but he still trained. So it's like you
no,
can't give Moria traits that his character doesn't have. Like his character is to give up, and that blocks him from unlocking all the potential that you're talking about. Like if you would have totally switched his character, he would be a whole new person. He wouldn't be Moria. So Moria's character is to be where he's at. I don't think he'll be able to get stronger. Even at his peak, he's second commander level because of his mentality. Like he would have had Conqueror's hockey or did something and and balloon because his will, that's what makes you a king. That's what makes Luffy special. Like Luffy could be weak. His fruit's weird. He's not that tall. He's not that big, but he just kept getting put into crazy situations and out and just strength through it all. That's not Moria. So I think
that's a,
that's
that,
the difference between like a first commander and like regular pirates like Moria.
that's a valid point. That's a valid point. But even going back to Usopp, would you say I don't think this, but would you say pre post time skip Usopp is about as strong as the thriller Bark Moria? I don't think so, but would you say
Huh.
that?
Thriller Bark Moria. A lot of things that went into Moria's character pre time skip was definitely his utility. I don't think Usopp is at that level because he was bringing dead back to life and all that, and that's like next level stuff. But Usopp definitely had a huge like breakout year when it came to that stuff. Uh, because he, like you say, he had the giant wolf, so his area of effect is like on a crazy level compared to his little firebirds and little pachinko balls from before. But he doesn't have the area. He doesn't have the area of effect. Hockey is too much of a thing. Like people have said so many times that if you don't have hockey in the new world, you're screwed. Usopp is one of those rare people that's like squeezing by him, Brooke, Frankie, all them. I don't think they have either. Usopp is the one that shows the most promise, but if he doesn't get armament or at least get his observation to a point where it's like crazy, then he's putting himself at risk, especially when the crew gets does their separation thing and they get separated and they have to fight on their own. That's going to be a big sticking point for him if he doesn't learn one of the hockeys to a point where he can defend himself. Because I feel like observation is for dodging and armament is of course for blocking. And those are the two things you have to do. Luffy fought Katakuri. When he couldn't block, he dodged. And if he didn't have that, he would have been dead. And Katakuri wouldn't have had that respect for him to let him live, And however you perceive that fight, if Luffy didn't have the ability to use crazy observation and and okay armament, he would have died. And Usopp doesn't have any of that, so it's just
Okay.
another level, you know.
So who would you put at Usopp's level? Who would you compare him to?
Off any Yonko crew in the New World, just any crew or anybody I can think of. This is
Yeah, or
this is
even a
tough.
Marine. Even a Marine, like, is there anyone you think is
You
about
know,
as strong as him?
I would say this would be all right. So you know how Usopp and Luffy had that fight. I think that was basically. I think that would be recreated again in the New World if Usopp was to fight Kobe. because Kobe doesn't have crazy observation hockey. He doesn't have
Oh
crazy
man.
armament, but it's enough to make him a threat. But that's all he has.
I
But
was,
Usopp has so much utility that he'll be able to counteract that. So it'll be around that level, like somebody that doesn't have too much strength, because I don't think Kobe would knock out Usopp in one hit, and I don't
oh,
think Usopp could do the opposite.
this is a sad day. I felt like you were about to say this, but I really hope you wouldn't because this
I
is
don't
such
know.
a conversation. I think you're extremely underestimating Kobe. Did you see my How Strong is Kobe video?
Wait. You're assuming that I put Kobe low. I just said that he will be able to fight Kobe, and I think that's a compliment to Usopp because he
Yeah,
doesn't
but
even have hockey. So I'm putting that. That's like a praise. Like Kobe's strong, and he's gonna get stronger because he's had one of the fastest growths in One Piece.
want to hear something that's gonna knock your socks off?
You said what?
People are gonna think you want to hear something that's gonna make you scream and go nani like Anaru
Oh
did.
God, let me hear
Uh,
it,
I think Kobe is as strong as Jinbei or Doflamingo.
bro. You're nah. Like I understand that people are entitled to their opinions, but sometimes there's just wrongness in the world, and this is one of them. I'm sorry, that doesn't
No,
make any sense.
no, it does make sense. Here's what I think: if we when we saw Kobe's observation hockey, it was pretty strong when it awakened. And then remember, Kobe was just able to sense the one princess on the one ship that they didn't even really know where it was, just with his hockey. And then Helmut was like, "How strong is your observation hockey?" And here's the thing: Kobe's. I know some people want to say things like Luffy's gonna be like the Rocks and Kobe's gonna be the Bane of the next Pirates King. But even if Kobe is like Luffy is like the quote unquote Rocks, that like Garp still beat the Rocks. I'm not saying Kobe's stronger than Luffy, but I'm saying Kobe
I
is
don't.
gonna Kobe is gonna be the. Can you just hear me out on this? Kobe is gonna be the Marine that is gonna be Luffy's biggest bane, and I feel like Kobe is gonna have. That's what I believe, and not Smoker. I think it's gonna be Kobe, and I feel like Kobe's got just as much motivation as Luffy. Like Kobe's motivation to become an admiral is just as Luffy's to become the pirate king. So Kobe's gonna have to be keeping. Like I know in Marineford he got wrecked, but then Luffy, like Kobe is a pretty big genius. Like when he awakened that observation, it was really really strong. So I feel like Kobe's gonna have to be keeping pace with like not keeping pace, but like of course Luffy's stronger than Doflamingo and Jinbei. I feel like Kobe's gonna always be a little ways behind Luffy if he ever hopes to be an admiral that's gonna be fighting Luffy in the New World when Luffy's the Pirate King or Yonko. He's gonna have to be fairly close to Luffy, and I don't see how Kobe's gonna only be strong as someone like Pika and even hope to eventually step up to Luffy. And since Kobe has as much motivation as Luffy, I feel like he came a long ways.
I agree with you said when you talk about Kobe and his growth, but I don't believe he's strong as Doflamingo. Those feats are
Not
impressive.
even Doflamingo, more like Jinbei.
Well, I mean, you put them. You said both of them, so I was just going off what you said. But I mean, if you want to take Doflamingo out, I'm proud of you. So we can just go off Jinbei. Now, Jinbei would arguably be able to, if one of the straw has to go down, take the place of one of the monster trio easily. So if Sanji goes out, Jinbei would be a good replacement, meaning they're around the same strength place. I believe Zoro and Sanji will be able to beat him. Would be able to beat Jinbei. So that's
Race
kind of how I feel.
Sanji.
Like basically he's the fourth strongest in the crew. I believe Usopp is the fifth to sixth strongest in the crew, and only the only Luffy is beating Doflamingo in the stride. So I just want to get that out there.
I
And then
feel like you're
they're almost
overestimating
tied.
Luffy.
I'm not. Well, I mean, you are entitled to think that, and I could see why. Like maybe you could put Zoro in there, maybe even Sanji, but I really Doflamingo just has too much tech for me. A lot of people are kind of like looking at his strength overall, but I don't. Dofi went all out against Luffy, and Gear Fourth barely did the job.
Or I put that
And
wrong.
no one has enough strength on the Straw Hat crew to rival maximum effort Luffy going full Snake Man, because Snake Man, is faster than anyone else on the crew by leaps and bounds. And I don't think Kobe could match that now. Like I said, I think he's on Usopp's level,
Hmm.
and Kobe isn't. I don't think Kobe could beat Doflamingo. There's just no way. He doesn't
Well,
have it took Luffy King's hockey, observation hockey, armament hockey, all on the next level because he had King's hockey and the Devil Fruit that's damn near awakened. Usopp doesn't have any of that. Kobe doesn't have any of that.
I put
So
that wrong. I didn't mean not you underestimate the flamingo, but not even the straw hats. But like guys like say, but just other guys like I feel like you don't under. This is the thing I noticed. Like lots of people underestimate other people. Like they don't underestimate the flamingo, but they don't realize that there are a lot of people that are on Bill Flamingo's level.
it's just none of the people you named. Like you said, Kobe's on his level,
Maybe
but
not
you
Kobe,
took
but
that back, and then you're saying Usopp could beat some crazy people and Jinbei. It's just I think you're power scaling a lot of these people in a weird way, and you're not like looking at like their overall usefulness, and because matchups mean a lot. So
right,
even if Luffy beats a nail, we all know why he beats a nail. So it's not like he's on that level. Doflamingo
right,
Doflamingo beat Luffy soundly because of his skill set in his base form. But other people's base form maybe do better against him. Like Fujitora would do way better against Doflamingo in his base form without awakening or doing the stuff Luffy did because of his gravity fruit. Like he doesn't fight with pure strength, and like Luffy didn't have enough strength in Gear Second to hurt him, and he was too slow in Gear Third. But that doesn't apply to like Fujitora or I'm not saying Bartolomeo stronger, but Bartolomeo because he has different like Law. If Doflamingo didn't raise Law and no Law, like Law would probably like Law could one shot a lot of people who don't see him coming. Like he just
right.
cuts him in half. So it's all about matchups. And I feel like Usopp has a lot of tech. If he just got at least a basic understanding of combat observation and combat hockey, he would be a nasty dude because he has a lot of different crazy abilities that he can use. But Kobe, all he has is his fists, just like Luffy. So he has a narrower scope of people he could fight. Luffy overcomes
Kobe's
people by his
flawless.
strength and durability. Kobe doesn't have the durability of Luffy because he doesn't have the fruit, and Luffy's a monster by birth. Kobe doesn't have a special bloodline and plot armor to give him all that durability. So that's why I'm separating him so much from people like Luffy and Doflamingo because we've seen monster level endurance and all that from them. We haven't seen that from Kobe. He got one shot by Luffy. No one of note is getting one shot by Luffy. Like no one. So that's
Yeah,
where
but
I
that was
stand.
pre-time skip. But
That was three-time skip, but he could not have grown more than Luffy has grown. Like in order for him not to get one shot by Luffy, he would have to be on at least Zoro and Sanji's level, and I don't believe he is
yeah, I believe he's on Gearzora's level.
in terms of durability overall. Because overall, he can't cause damage like Zoro, and he's not as fast as Sanji. So you
Well,
can't
not
just talk
like.
about speed.
Well,
I'm
I
talking
mean,
about
like
overall.
say Sanji's damage. Like, well, it's hard to scale Kobe, but like even
Based off what he's seen and what he has, unless he has a devil fruit or some kind of
well, he
cool
doesn't have double
weapon.
fruit. You knew he
No,
didn't
no,
have
no,
double
no. I'm not saying he has to, but this is what I'm saying is, in order to have the ability to face opponents to say he's strong, like Zoro and Sanji can face a wide variety of enemies because of their overall strength. Like their strength can cut through a lot of things. Like Zoro can cut through people with arm and hockey. He can touch people with devil fruits. He can do all this different, create darkness, Ashura. But all Kobe has is moving kind of fast and punching people. So when you look at
fruit. Well,
his arsenal, it's not good enough to fight people like Page
well,
One. Like
the same
him
for
versus
Luffy. Luffy's arsenal is moving fast and punching people, And even look at Garp. Garp's arsenal is moving fast and punching people.
Right, but remember
Garp
what I
is
said. Remember what I said. His hit, they overwhelm people with their strength. If your arm in hockey isn't comparable to my base punch, like Garp, I mean Luffy punched Don Chinjiao's little his head thing, which means that he has strength somewhere on pre like prime, not prime Garp, but like young Garp when he punched Don Chinjiao's thing. Luffy did the same thing, and Garp was able to punch a continent. That's probably at full strength, but at least Luffy had the strength to straighten Don Chinjiao's head, and that's a big feat.
well, I think
He was able to overwhelm their hockey. I don't see Kobe overwhelming anyone's like armament hockey.
I can
That's
see
what I
him
meant.
doing that.
No,
But of
what
course, we have.
now? You're giving him way too
I
much
don't know
credit,
now.
man. He's been training for 2 years. Luffy
Luffy
trained
was
like his
training
whole
for
life
two.
for this. His whole life, he was thrown in the jungle as a little
No, but
kid.
yeah, but Kobe, like even looking at Kobe, like Luffy, just over 2 years, um, he's probably he had to have
All
doubled
right.
in strength.
Yeah,
Luffy
Luffy.
at least
Lu-
doubled in strength over 2 years, and you're
If you
forgetting what
double
I
in
said.
if you
Kobe is
double in strength and you're at a 20, you're just a 40. But if you double in strength, if you're 100, you're 200. There's a difference. Luffy had the basis for fighting, combat, and surviving by any means necessary. He was sitting up there getting punched with spiked knuckles as a little kid. Like, you can't put them on the same level. When Luffy has been training for way more than 2. That's why you can't put Garp and Luffy on the same level. Because Garp has been at this for so long. Yeah, he's not in his peak anymore, but peak Garp and peak Luffy. Well, you can't see peak Luffy, but Luffy right now, it's a wash.
yeah, but we haven't. But when is Kobe going to quote unquote catch up to Luffy? By the
When we
logic he's
have,
going.
all right. So what I believe is going to happen is he going to have to there's going to be a point where either he fights Luffy one more time, or he's going to have some kind of heart to heart with Garp, or some kind of thing in the Reverie, and he's going to get the realization, just like Luffy got the realization, that he needs to get not only stronger but more versatile and work on his fighting technique. So he's either going to incorporate a weapon, get some of those 6 powers. Maybe he'll get a fruit, but he has
Well,
to
he
get
has to
more
take
than what he
powers.
has now. He'll have to like he doubled in strength before. He's gonna have to double in strength again. That's what I think his journey is. Like once he get like the same height as Luffy, and he, what I'm saying, get he gets a real position and his disposition changes. That's when I think he is. So maybe like 100 or so, 50 more chapters, something like that.
Mm, that's fair. That's fair. But back to Usopp, you put him on Kobe's level.
Yeah,
Uh, where would
I
I
feel
put
like that's
Usopp?
good.
No, yeah, that's pretty good for how strong I think Kobe is. Where would I put Usopp? I'd probably, I, I feel like even going by, of course, Monkey's 200 million. I think that I don't know. There's not a lot of people. I feel like whose strength is completely known. Like Kobe, mostly his strength is speculation.
Right.
But for someone whose strength is known, I feel like probably at least one of the Straw Hat Grand Fleet captains, like one of those guys, like maybe
I can see
Idio.
that. I can see
I
that.
feel like about that.
I think he would be. I don't know who's considered the strongest. Maybe Hyrudine or Cavendish when he goes Hakuba. But
Cavendish with Hakuba is pretty strong.
do you think he's weaker than that? Do you think Kobe's weaker than Hakuba Cavendish?
No,
So you think Kobe is the strongest one in the Grand Fleet if he joins?
yeah,
Okay. So you think so he would have to be faster than, old boy. Now, well, not necessarily, but he would have to make up for it in some way. And when it comes to fighting, all he has is speed and the ability to punch hard. So if he's not outspeeding Cavendish, I don't know how he's stronger than him.
yeah. I think he's outspeeding Cavendish to be honest. But
That's a bold claim, and I like it. I would have to. I can't buy any. Oh, okay, that was weird. Sorry. But yeah, what was I talking about? Oh, Cavendish. Like I was saying, that's kind of a lofty. A lot.
Hello? Well, it appears as the sound has just gone out. Uh, I don't know what to do about it, so I guess we're just gonna end up ending the stream here. It's been a good stream. Be sure to subscribe to Vulture Valley's channel. And to be honest, I think I was kind of on the losing side in this stream. There may be a part 2, but thanks for watching, and I will see you in the next video.